Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Michelle Fondin author vlog. This is episode 36, and hey, I am back to recording videos. I have not disappeared for good. I promise you. I've been finishing my brand new upcoming book, which I'll talk about in just a minute, and recording the audiobook, working on the workbook, and it is almost here on May 20th, I assure you. Today, we're going to talk about twin flames and self-love. This is bridging between the two topics. So if you are interested in that, please do stay tuned. I want to welcome you if you are brand new to this channel. I'm the author of almost 14 published books, but right now 12 published books, including Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, and Twin Flame Union, The 7 Keys to a Healthy Twin Flame Journey. You can find all of my published books on Amazon and 10 of my published books on Ingram Spark. The links are all below. Now, my upcoming book is entitled Love Me Unconditionally, A Spiritual Guide to Self-Love and Inner Peace, and the workbook, the companion workbook that goes with it. I'll put a little photo of that book cover right here. I am here with my pals, Grogu, and 2 different types of Gudetama. I am here with my writer's tumbler with my Ticino Dandelion Caramel Nut Tea. And I am ready to chat with you guys about twin flames and self-love. As many of you know who have come to my channel for the twin flame topic, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I have talked myself blue in the face about twin flames. I've even written, as I mentioned, 2 books on twin flames. I have twin flame online courses that are now combined. So I've done courses on twin flames. I've done twin flame group coaching. I've done a lot. Tarot readings about twin flames. I've done a lot of material about twin flames since 2019. I feel like now I am bridging the gap. There was a gap there. There was a gap in knowledge, knowingness, spiritual growth, emotional growth that was lacking in the twin flame movement. And I really tried to bridge that gap in so many ways. I felt it was completely inadequate, really inadequate. I really attempted in both of my books, in my courses, to bridge the gap. And I find that now with my upcoming book, with my upcoming workbook and the courses and the live events. Yes, live. I will be doing live in-person events, probably starting in California and then moving throughout the United States and hopefully then throughout the world. I want to bring that to you because I have found that the twin flame journey, as challenging as it is, and you know how challenging it is if you're a twin flame, when you meet this person that blows your mind away because it opens your heart chakra, it opens you up to this sense of unconditional love, and then you don't know what to do with it. Because with it is not only unlocked your heart chakra, but your wounds are also unlocked and triggers. And your twin flame has the same thing going on, but perhaps on a different timeline, a slightly different timeline. And so there is this push-pull. There's a lot of wounds, like I said, cracked open. There is a dark night of the soul, or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them. There are several stages of a spiritual awakening that occur. There is the on-again, off-again twin flame relationship that completely drives you crazy, where as soon as you leave, they come back in, and as soon as you come back in, they leave. And so all of these stages through the twin flame development, and in fact, I did produce a video a long time ago on the stages of a twin flame journey. I'll post that right here so you can see it. But as you move through these stages, at some point, you become stuck. At some point, if you are way ahead in your spiritual, emotional development than your twin flame, that's when you get stuck. That's when you have this gap where the gap does need to be filled. And so many that are on the twin flame journey reach this point, this impasse, this point at which they're like, well, I've been doing a lot of my energetic work, my spiritual work, my emotional work, my relational work. I've been working on my life, myself, my other relationships, but now there's this vacuum almost. There's just this gap. I just don't know what to do with this. I feel like I can't really move forward. I feel like my twin flame is not necessarily moving forward on the same timeline as me. And then it leaves us with this feeling of like, what now? Like, what do I do now? Now that I've moved through the dark night of the soul, now that I've moved through the stages of the twin flame journey, now that I've worked on my vibration, myself, my life, I've rectified those other major relationships in my life where maybe you needed to get a divorce, maybe you needed a separation from someone, maybe you needed to leave a boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other that you weren't married to, for example. Or maybe you needed to leave that job or leave the city. There are a lot of changes that take place as a result of a spiritual awakening, right? It always happens that way. It's never just one thing. Oftentimes, it's a whole multitude of things that your life gets flipped upside down. Now, whether your spiritual awakening came as a result of meeting a twin flame, or whether it came by other means, your life is usually turned upside down. In other words, you're awakened to seeing life in a very different way than you've ever seen it before. And once you see it in that way, you can't unsee it. You can't like go back to the way you were before. You can't go back to normal life. What is normal life anyways, right? You can't go back to the way you were living before because you're a different person now. So when you meet a twin flame, your life is completely transformed, even if they are not currently in your life. And you know this, right? You know you've been changed. You know you've been transformed. You know that you have never felt such unconditional love before in human form, that has not occurred before. And you don't understand it. You don't understand how you could have this opening, this heart chakra opening, to someone who may not even give you the time of day today. And where does that leave you in that gap, right? That gap of like, okay, I've done everything I need to do. What happens now? What happens now? My twin flame's not ready, or maybe they say they're ready, but they're really not ready. Maybe they have one foot in and one foot out. Maybe they're not quite there yet. Or maybe they've made themselves a ghost and you haven't seen them in a year, 5 years, or 10 years. But here you are now, feeling this loneliness, feeling that you don't really know how to move forward in a proper way. Where does that leave you? When I was in that situation where I was healing a lot, I was doing a lot of healing work. I was not only working on myself, but I was working with clients. And when you teach what you are learning, it kind of doubles or triples or quadruples the lessons because you learn faster when you teach what you have learned, right? It reinforces what you have learned. And so I found myself in this situation probably 4 years into my twin flame connection. And as I was in there, about 4 years into my twin flame connection, in this gap where I knew that perhaps I wasn't 100% ready to be in a different relationship, even though I thought I was ready, I thought I might be ready. I knew that there was something missing. There was some kind of lesson I was still needing to learn. There was something I needed to do to be able to walk forward in my life with 100% full confidence that no matter what happened in my twin flame connection, I was going to be okay. That I was going to be following my life path, my highest life path, my highest timeline. And that led me to my self-love journey that began way back, right? That kind of began back when I met my twin flame. It even began before that. I just didn't know that's what it was. But it led me to the self-discovery of the self-love journey, loving myself unconditionally, and being able to then figure out what that was all about. I knew how to unconditionally love my twin flame. I knew how to unconditionally love God, right? My source, my higher power, whatever you want to call it. So I knew that. I understood that. I understood more or less loving my children unconditionally, loving my pets unconditionally. Although, that's never perfect, right? That's never perfect. But this love, this unrelenting love that I had for my twin flame, I didn't have it for myself in the same way. And I felt like that was the gap that was missing. Like that was why there was this little vacuum here. That's why there was a little bit of a void here. It was because I could, without a shadow of a doubt, I could love my twin flame unconditionally. That was not a problem. But I couldn't do it for myself. And hence the reason my upcoming book was born. Every single one of us on the twin flame journey, now whether you're with your twin flame right now, or whether you are in an on again, off again relationship with your twin flame, or whether you are in total separation from your twin flame with nada, nothing, zip, zilch, or you could be in total separation from your twin flame, but you communicate telepathically, or their 5D presence, their spiritual presence is continually with you. Whatever the scenario you happen to be in right now, whatever your twin flame situation, what this leads to ultimately is you learning how to love yourself unconditionally. I will stick by that. I will stand by that. That is my message. That is my mission. That is what I'm here to teach. That is what I'm here to convey to the world, whether you're a twin flame or not. We all need to learn to love ourselves unconditionally. There is no compromise on this. There is no shortcutting this. There is no arguing against this. This is what we're meant to do. And I will preach this till the day I die. I will preach this. This is my mission. I was the twin flame coach. This is my mission. You must love yourself unconditionally. There is no way around this. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is the most important thing you could ever do in your life. From the basis of you loving yourself unconditionally on every level, we're not talking about superficial levels. We're talking about every level. The way you love your twin flame, right? On every level, we're talking about in body, emotions, intellect, mind, ego, soul, spirit, everything about you, that you love yourself unconditionally at all times. Now, this is easy to say. It is not an easy thing to do. And it must become your mission, whether you're a twin flame or anyone else living on this planet. It is the basis for everything, for you not only to live a good life, but it is the basis for you being able to have the relationships that you want and to have the life that you want. I went through a few years really studying this topic in earnest, working on myself, working on my self-love, working diligently and uncovering everything I could uncover when it came to not loving myself unconditionally. And believe me, I was pretty broken there. You may not see it on camera, but I will tell you right now, pretty darn broken on that front. And I go into that in my upcoming book. I go into that in my upcoming course. And I will go into that on YouTube as well in this video series on self-love. Why is it, let me just ask you this though. This is really important since I'm tying in the topic of twin flames and self-love. Why is it so easy for you to feel unconditional love for your twin flame? Especially in those initial stages, right? When you had the aha moment that this is your soul. When you had the aha moment that you had never felt such love for another human being, that instantaneously, without them doing anything, you just burst open and this sense of unconditional love just flowed out of you toward them. Why do you think? Why is it so easy for you to feel unconditional love for your twin flame? I'd like you to ponder that. Like, just ponder it for a moment until they started triggering you, right? And even then, because I know firsthand for me, even though my twin flame was a runner, a big time runner, my twin flame was avoidant in a big way. My twin flame was in denial in a big way. So even though there was all that going on, I could still feel an enormous amount of unconditional love for him. Now, why was that so easy? It was so easy because there was something in that soul connection that reminded me of soul love, of God love, right? So when you really feel, and you have felt this, even if you don't believe in a God, you could believe in a multitude of gods, or you could believe in one universal source. But you've had these moments, right? You've had moments of feeling like wonder and awe. You've had moments where you're just like, everything is right in the world, and you don't really know where that comes from. Sometimes it comes in meditation. Sometimes it comes when you see a beautiful sunset. Sometimes it comes when you gaze into the eyes of your newborn baby for the first time. But there are these moments of awe where you're like, oh my God, that is love. And when you have a twin flame, when you feel that heart chakra bursting open with unconditional love, why can't you return that to yourself? I'd like you to ponder that, because that is something you and I, are going to talk about for the next unforeseeable future. Unforeseeable or foreseeable? Foreseeable future, I guess. In a future that is very expansive. I guess maybe that's what I want to say. Since that is my life mission is to get you to the point at which you love yourself unconditionally, because there's nothing else more important than that. Why is it so hard for you to love yourself unconditionally? It's much easier for you to love your twin flame unconditionally. Why? There are so many reasons why you might not love yourself unconditionally, and I'm going to help you uncover the reasons why. Now, if you came to me, to this channel, as a twin flame, and if you have viewed all of my twin flame content, and if you haven't, I would say go back and view those playlists. There are so many playlists on twin flames on my channel. There is a lot of great content for free. You don't have to take my courses. You don't have to buy my books, but there is a lot. There are hours and hours and hours of content for free on YouTube that you can watch, that I've recorded, that is excellent material. You can do that. And if you have already watched all the twin flame content, and not only watched it, but really integrated it, you're ready for the next step. You're ready for the next step. The next step is loving yourself unconditionally. So if you have been a twin flame viewer, if you have been a twin flame reader of my books, or a participant in one of my courses, I invite you now to join me on this mission of unconditional self-love. As I mentioned, the twin flame journey got you here. If you're here through the twin flame journey, it got you here. But now you are about to embark on the most important journey in your life. And I invite you to join me here. If you have friends or if you have family who don't love themselves very much, if you have friends or family who might even hate themselves or have a lot of self-loathing, I would invite them too to come and join me on this journey. You see, this is not only an individualistic journey, even though I'm talking about unconditional self-love, it is a one by one by one by one that will then create a ripple effect in humanity. But it starts with you. It starts with you loving yourself unconditionally, and that will have an effect on all of the other people in your life. Whether or not they choose to love themselves, it will have an effect. So if you are not yet subscribed, I would highly encourage you to subscribe. Click on the bell, give the video a thumbs up, engage in the comment section, share this video with others, because I know so many people who really don't like themselves. They say they do. They might even say they do. But a lot of times it's extremely superficial. It's very surface level, or it's a defense mechanism that they're saying it because they are defending something. They're defending something weak behind that defense. I'm talking about 100% authentic and true unconditional self-love. That is the type of love I am teaching you for yourself and for no one else but you. But you. Because it starts with you. You cannot make anybody else love themselves, but you can make you love yourself. So I'm super excited for this mission, this lifelong mission for however long I have left on earth. But this is it. This is my mission. So I want to thank you so much for joining me here on this channel. And you know what to do. If you want to grab some of my published books and support this channel, go right ahead. Go to Amazon, go to Ingram Spark. All the links are below. You can check out my website, michellefondinauthor.com. I've got a lot of offerings on there as well. And I'm really excited for this new part of my journey and this new part on my YouTube channel. Hashtag self-love. Me as your self-love guru. Guru just means dispeller of darkness. Oh, that's all it means. It means taking away the darkness, leaving the light. As your self-love guru, I will be seeing you in the next video.